Starve the beast was the phrase thrown around in the Reagan White House. The beast being the federal government. Starve it. Cut taxes. Don't collect the money the government needs to run its programs, and those programs will then have to be cut. This has been the Republican strategy since Reagan. It is the Republican strategy today. If you don't understand that it is the Republican strategy, then you do not understand what you're up against.
In the last decade, if we had simply found a way to pay for the tax cuts and the prescription drug benefit, our deficit would currently be at low historical levels in the coming years.
If we had simply found a way to pay for those things, the Republicans had no intention of finding a way to pay for the Medicare prescription drug benefit or the tax cuts. Had they done that, there would not be today a Republican-led discussion about dismantling the federal government.
We have to live within our means. We have to reduce our deficit, and we have to get back on a path that will allow us to pay down our debt.
And there the Democratic president is saying exactly what Republicans planned for a Democratic president to say if by chance one of them was lucky enough to be elected. That plan, the Reagan plan, the Starve the Beast plan, controls our governing dialogue today. This is not an accidental legacy of Reagan's. This was his plan. This didn't happen because George W. Bush lost his way and forgot to pay for things. It was because George W. Bush faithfully executed the plan.
The America I know is generous and compassionate. It's a land of opportunity and optimism. The America I know is generous and compassionate. It's a land of opportunity and optimism. Yes, we take responsibility for ourselves, but we also take responsibility for each other, for the country we want and the future that we share. We're a nation that built a railroad across a continent and brought light to communities shrouded in darkness. We sent a generation to college on the GI Bill, and we saved millions of seniors from poverty with Social Security and Medicare. We have led the world in scientific research and technological breakthroughs that have transformed millions of lives. That's who we are. This is the America that I know.
This is not the America the Tea Party knows. This is not the America that John Boehner and Mitch McConnell represent. They represent the America that believes government can do nothing right, except occasionally when a Republican commander-in-chief is directing our troops in war. Toward the end, the president spoke directly to Democrats.
Indeed, to those in my own party, I say that if we truly believe in a progressive vision of our society, we have an obligation to prove that we can afford our commitments.
Therein lies the liberals' burden. The president is correctly laying out the political reality, if not the moral reality, that the burden of responsible governing, the burden of maintaining the great liberal successes of Social Security and Medicare and the rest of the social safety net falls and has always fallen exclusively to the creators of those programs. That is exactly how the Republicans see it. Republicans were opposed to the creation of Social Security. Why should Republicans figure out how to keep it going? Why should Republicans figure out how to keep it going? Republicans were opposed to the creation of Medicare. Why should Republicans figure out how to keep Medicare going? In decades past, Republicans have contributed to solvency solutions to those programs because they lived in political fear of being blamed for cutting back those very popular programs. And some Republicans in the Senate, back in the days of Bob Dole's Senate, actually had a sense of governing responsibility about maintaining those programs. Then came Newt Gingrich and his spawn. In 1984, when Bob Dole had the temerity to suggest a tax increase could be necessary to reduce the deficit, just could be necessary to reduce the deficit, Newt Gingrich publicly called Bob Dole, quote, the tax collector for the welfare state. Now, 21st century Republicans have what they've needed to openly attack Medicare, a budget crisis, a debt crisis that both parties agree must be addressed, and two opposing budget plans, the Ryan plan and the Obama plan. The president's speech was titled, "The Country We Believe In." We have no idea what this country would look like without this social safety net, without those commitments President Obama talks about. But if it's Ryanism's turn to triumph the way Reaganism did, then we will all feel the pain of an America without a commitment to basic human dignity.